to just give me a quick yes on the chat window if you're able to hear me clearly. So please use the chat window to communicate. So just quickly give me a yes if all of you are able to kind of hear me properly. Okay, perfect. So, what I'll do now is I'll get started with today's discussion, and so today we'll be primarily focusing around Python for data science. And if you're able to see my screen, if you're able to see my presentation, just let me know. So just write me a yes if my presentation is visible for all of you. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so my name is Suchit Majumdar. I'm the Chief Data Science Evangelist here at Insaid, and I'll be your host for today. I'll be talking about what exactly is data science and how does Python really solve major problems for data science, and how does it help a lot of people. So a little bit about myself. I've been a techie for quite a while, post which I did my MBA from Indian School of Business. In my journey, majorly during the tech world, tech experience that I have, I got exposed to a lot of data, and my primary work was around kind of working with data to kind of find optimized solutions and to make sure that everything in the system is perfect. After that, post MBA, I helped AP government set up their first smart city, and that was a major kind of exposure that I had, where I saw data science and AI being used at scale. So you can literally control an entire city sitting at one place by using data science and AI properly. Now, after that, I got into my journey of tech education. And when I say tech education, my primary focus was on data science, AI, and big data. Now, these these were actually a natural kind of outcome of my experience because my experience revolved around decision optimization, analytics, management, so managerial decisions. So all of these things that I've done in my career for so long kind of helped me decide that the next obvious path for me would have been the tech education space, wherein a lot of people out there know the importance of this field, but they're kind of not able to kind of get into this easily. Primary reason for that is because of lack of knowledge and lack of clarity outside. But that's where we started Insight to help people understand the importance of data science and AI, but not only to understand it, but also to do it by themselves. So these are my coordinates. And before I get started, I have few questions for all of you. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick overview of the agenda. The agenda is pretty straightforward. I'll be talking about Python, a little bit about how do you write your own code in Python, and how does Python work out for data analysis. And then finally, I'll walk you through a case study. So our session is going to be broken up into three parts. The first part is where I'll walk you through a little bit of theory on Python. The second part is where I'll show you Python in action. And the third part is where we'll talk about how Insight can help you get into the space of data science and AI. So with that, I think I would like to kind of ask a few questions for all of you, and I'll design my session as per the answers that all of you give me. So I hope all of you are ready. I will open up polls. So just give me a yes if all of you are ready. So I have a few questions for all of you, and I need you to answer these queries. Okay, perfect. So good to see the excitement around. Keep up the excitement. I need all of you to participate. We don't want to make this session as a one-way session, but rather where we both interact. Okay, we want everybody to interact and kind of get the best out of the session. Thank you, guys. So the first question that will pop up on your screen now is this your first session with Insight? Just write me the number of sessions that you have done so far. First, second, third, multiple. So just choose an option that suits you the best. Yeah, so guys, put it up on the chat window. Yeah, don't write it on the chat window. Put it up on the poll. So I've shared you the poll. So go for the poll. And instead of writing it on the chat window, go for the poll. Okay. So Angad, Akshita, Manish, Arvind, Sangeeta, Trupti, Suhail. I hope all of you are able to see the chat window. Sorry, the poll window. You'll get an option to choose the question on the poll. Yeah, please put up your entries only in the poll window. Okay, I'll be stopping the poll in another 5 seconds. All the folks who have not answered, if you can quickly answer the poll. So the question in the poll is basically, which session is this for you at Insight? And good to see that a major chunk of you are doing the session for the very first time, and you are here at Insight for the very first time. Really glad to see that we have such a wide audience who's coming here for the first time. I'll just share the answers now. Now, if you see here, a major chunk, 65% of the session attendees are here for the very first time, followed by 21 for the second, 10 for the third, and 4 for the last. Yeah. So resuming from where we left off, we saw a major chunk of you are attending this for the very first time. Now, to come to the next point here, so Vishal, can you just open the second chat? Sorry, open the second poll question. Yeah. So we'll first go through the poll question, friends. Then we'll come for the presentation. So Vishal, can you just open up the second poll? Yeah. Okay. So friends, please attempt the second poll. So this is around your work X. Okay. So we'll stop the poll another 15 seconds. So all the folks who have not answered, can you quickly answer, please? So your answers in the poll will help me kind of work through the way we're going to organize the session today. Okay, last 5 seconds. Okay, so we'll stop the poll. Sorry, we'll stop the poll here. And Vishal, can you quickly share the results here? Okay, so okay, this is interesting. So okay, this is pretty interesting. We have a major chunk of us here in today's session who are in the 5 to 15 years age band, experience band, I would say. So pretty nice. So I think yeah. So we have more of a senior level kind of audience today, and usually I've seen a lot of people who are in all brackets are kind of interested to kind of go ahead and get some exposure in the space of data science and AI. Okay, so Vishal, can you stop sharing the poll? Yeah, can you give me access for the poll? Okay, meanwhile, so I'll come to the next question here. Now, before I start the next question, one more quick recap. The session is divided into 3 parts. In the first part, I'll be covering all that you're seeing in the agenda, as in like the theory part of it. The second part, I'll give you access to the hands-on, wherein I'll talk about how exactly is data science and AI kind of how easy it is when you use Python. And then I'll come to the third part of the session where I'll help you understand how Insaid can guide you and give you a direction as to what is the best way to get into data science and AI. So I'm launching the third question here, friends. If you can quickly address the third question. So this one we'll kind of spend 30 seconds. After that, I'll move on to the last question, and then we'll get started with our session. So quickly, if you can push in whatever suits your I mean, whichever answer suits your or whatever is the correct answer for you, just quickly choose the one, and then in the next 10 seconds, we'll stop the poll. Okay, and I need everybody to be very active here. We don't want to make it a one-sided session. So I know it's a little weird that one person talks and the rest are sitting and listening, but that doesn't need to be the case. You can always use the chat window. You can always keep trying to answer questions that I asked you, and try to participate in this entire session. Perfect. So I see, yeah, most of you have answered it. I'm waiting for a few of you to still answer. There are hardly 7% people who have not answered. So if you guys are in that 7%, I would recommend you to quickly answer. I'll be stopping the poll another 5 seconds. All the folks who have not answered, quickly answer. Okay, thank you. 3, 2, and 1. I'll stop. Okay. So where did you hear about Insaid from? A major chunk of you have heard from Facebook. Good to see that a lot of you have heard about us from Facebook through mails. And then we have Insta also. I think that's pretty interesting. We have quite a few people who have come from Insta as well. So good to see that. Now, which one of you
Which one do you consider the best aligned to your background? Okay, this is very interesting question here. So this question actually talks a lot about, okay, what is the best way we can kind of design this session so that everybody can kind of gain something out of it. And I'll tell you, this question is pretty kind of similar in most of the sessions that I conduct. Once I show you the results, you'll understand. Okay, we'll stop in another 5 seconds. And 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. Okay, so if you see here, we have quite a few people who are engineers and coders. We have very few people who are non-engineers and yet they code. We have few people who are engineers but they do not code. And then we have few people who are non-engineers and non-coders as well. And this session actually will open up your eyes that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which category out of these 4 you belong to. Coding is not something out of the world. It's not something that is difficult. It's not something that is something that you can't touch. Or rather, it is something that all of you have been doing in some bits and pieces. It's just that you never realize that you're doing coding in some sense. And that's what we are here for today. So before I kind of get started with the session, what I require all of you to do is turn off all sorts of distractions. Just make sure that you are here all focused on this session. It'll hardly take us 1.5 hours to wrap up the session. But what is important is in these 1.5 hours, how do we kind of make the best of this time that we have at hand? So with that, let me get started with our discussion. What is Python? Now, the moment I talk about Python, okay, the very first thing that comes to mind is something like this, which is a lot of people think it's programming, and programming is something that is supposed to be very difficult. How many of you fall in this category? How many of you think that, yeah, the moment I hear programming, I feel a little scared? So, Anuva, okay, we have somebody called as Donald Trump. Okay, I'll be honored if Mr. Donald Trump is sitting in my session. Uh, okay, you don't feel scared. Good. CS pass out. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll take up those questions a little later towards the end of the session. Yes. Yeah. It does kind of scare a lot of you, right? I mean, there's no point kind of hiding the fact, but we are scared. Okay. At times, people, the moment you hear coding, the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, this is something that's difficult. It might be a little challenging. I've never coded in life. So what I'll do is I'll try to reverse the question and I'll try to move it into a different direction. And let's come from a different direction and understand, is coding at all difficult? Okay. So I hope all of you know this most favorite tool of managers, right? So which is the most favorite tool of managers? It's right on my screen. It's called as Microsoft Excel. Okay. How many of you work with Excel? Of all the folks who said I'm afraid of coding, how many of you work with Excel? Okay. I see almost everybody has worked it. Either you've worked with Excel or you're working with Excel. Okay. No doubt. I mean, that's pretty expected that a lot of you would have been working with Excel. Okay. How many of you have worked on Excel sheets that are say 5 MB in size? 5 MB Excel sheet works flawlessly, right? It works pretty nice, pretty easy. Absolutely, yeah. Now, how many of you have worked with 15 MB? Okay. Now I see quite a few of you say, yeah, at times. Okay. How's your experience at 15 MB? It could 15, 20, doesn't matter. Just think on anything that is above, say, 15 MB. Takes time to load. It's a little slow. Okay. Has anybody worked on 200 MB of Excel sheet? Has anybody dared to work with 200 MB of Excel sheet? Yeah, we don't dare, right? I mean, why would we even try to break ahead on 200 MB of Excel sheet? It becomes a little difficult for us. It becomes a lot challenging for us to kind of solve problems. At 200 MB, our sheet wouldn't open, our system would hang, even a small formula like a sum wouldn't work properly, and life becomes miserable. So that is where we have to kind of take a step back and try to think, okay, what are the benefits that I get in Excel, but at what cost do I get it? Okay, that is something that you might want to think on. But I'll talk about something a little more vital here. Okay, a little more vital, a little more important about Excel sheet. How many of you have used this function called as VLOOKUP? How many of you have used this function called as VLOOKUP? A lot of you have used it, right? Now, what do you call it? I mean, do you know it's called as functions? Do we all agree on this point that it's called as functions? Yeah. Okay. So a lot of us have used it. And one thing I'll tell you how to use it is basically you should know what is the name of the function. Okay. You should know what is the name of the function. And second is, Nikita, you can write it on the chat window itself. And second is, you should know what are the parameters that you've got to pass to these functions. Okay. So this function name is VLOOKUP. You need to pass parameter 1, parameter 2, and parameter 3. Okay, so these are the parameters that you usually pass to a VLOOKUP function. Now, was VLOOKUP very easy when you did it for the very first time? Was VLOOKUP very easy when you did it for the very first time? Pushpin, you can think of any other function which you have used. It could be sum, it could be mean, average, whatever. I mean, I don't know what sort of function you have used in Excel sheet, but choose anyone. So when you used it for the very first time, I assume that none of you really found it easy and interesting, right? You had to Google quite a few number of times. Okay. Let's say I used VLOOKUP for the first time. Okay, I found it a little difficult. Then I tried it out the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. And for the last 5 years, I've been extensively using Excel sheet and VLOOKUP, which is a similar case for a lot of you. If I wake you up at the middle of the night and if I ask you that, can you write a VLOOKUP today after 5 years of using VLOOKUP, do you find it difficult? Answer is no, right? It's pretty straightforward. First one, you write VLOOKUP, you put the search parameter, then you put the range, and then you put, okay, which index do I need to extract? It's as simple as that. But the question here is, does anybody know which language VLOOKUP is actually written in? You're just using a simple function in Excel sheet, which looks pretty straightforward. Okay. Any idea which language is VLOOKUP written in? Okay. No, definitely it's not written in Python. It's written in VC++. Okay. It's written in VC++. So VLOOKUP is actually implemented in VC++. Did you actually need to learn VC++ implementation of VLOOKUP to actually use VLOOKUP? So I'll ask you a very common question, I mean, a very obvious question. Did you have to invest time to learn VC++ implementation of VLOOKUP before you used it? Not required, right? If you have a business problem, okay, you know Excel sheet is there to solve your problem. You need to know which function will help you solve that problem. And in that function, which parameters I need to pass. So basically how to use that function. That is all that you were worried about. Nobody had asked you to learn VC++ and then learn how to implement a VLOOKUP in VC++ to solve your business problem. So in some sense, you have been coding. Okay, you have been coding in some sense. It's just that you never ever thought that this is also coding. The actual question that I should have asked you is, does it really matter? Okay, the right question is, does it really matter if VLOOKUP is implemented in VC++ or in Python or in some other language? Does it really break your work? The answer is no. At the end of the day, you just need to know where to use it, how to use it. And that's enough for you to solve your business problem. The bigger challenge that you have is, once you know that, okay, Excel is very friendly, there are a lot of functions that I can use, I can solve my business problem in no time. The problem is the moment, okay? Yeah, the moment I was coming to that point, Arvind, very good. The moment you have something complicated, okay, you need some logic wherein if a certain cell works out this way, then do this. If that doesn't work out, then do something else. What do you do when there's a little complex logic that you want to implement in Excel sheet? What do you do then? So has anybody tried out something difficult in Excel sheet? Yeah, if could possibly solve a small part of it. How about for loops? I mean, if you have to loop through a data, then what? If you have to extract a segment of data, then what? Okay, when you have to extract a segment of data with the if function, with the looping thing, then what? That is where, friends, comes in the idea of VBA. Macros, VBA, these were meant for doing this kind of advanced tasks. To some extent, when you're writing VBA, you are scripting, you're writing your own code. Now, if you have to make your life miserable, in Excel sheet, what's the point of using Excel sheet to do advanced analytics? That is where Python comes to the rescue. Python behaves in the same manner. It's just that you got a lot more flexibility, you got a lot more control over what you're doing. Python was introduced to this world because of that reason, wherein people who come from non-programming background, do they really need to invest a major chunk of their time learning all of these fundamentals of programming? The answer is no. If they know what kind of function they need to use to solve the business problem, that's it. They don't have to understand how is the function really implemented internally. Just like VLOOKUP, none of you would have dared to even bother how is it implemented in VC++. On similar lines, Python also is the same. Nobody cares how is it implemented internally as long as my business problems can be solved. Python was built keeping such people in mind. It has a very beautiful syntax, very easy to understand, very simple, large standard library. When I say large standard library, if you think VLOOKUP is one solution for you, okay, in Excel sheet, there are possibly a few thousands of such formulas. Python would have few millions of such formulas. Python will give you even more wider acceptance in terms of what you can do with Python. Python it's free, okay? You can use it on any platform, doesn't matter. And it's a lot more powerful. In fact, I'll show it to you in working. Instead of kind of talking about the theory, I would rather go deep and show you how does it really work in Python in the practical world. I show you the syntax as well. Now, the point is, why should I believe that Python is the language that I should be kind of focusing on? Okay, the reason is pretty straightforward. You don't have to hear anybody who says that just learn Python. Okay, rather, what you need to do is just see what the companies are doing, the best companies across the world. What are these companies doing? You talk about Bank of America, you talk about Google, Amazon, Deloitte, Walmart, all of them are using Python. Okay, so the beauty of Python is that now it is widely accepted in the industry. All the major companies are following Python at their workplace, and it is solving their problems big time. Okay, so that is why Python is a choice of language when it comes to industry. Now, I think this is all for theory that I would like to kind of explain here. We don't want to kind of spend too much time talking about the theory, but rather we would want to see a hands-on. And in the hands-on, I'll break it up down into two parts. The first part is where I will show you the benefit of Python. Okay, and in the second part, I'll show you how does a small analysis work out by using Python. So I'll be using Python to do a small analysis, but this time I need all of you to wear your analyst hat, okay, along with non-programmers wearing a coder's hat to understand what I'm coding and then providing me your analysis of the data that I will be showing on my screen. So let me first share my screen. Yeah, so I'll be sharing my Jupyter notebook. This is a platform that you write your Python code on. So before I get started, I'll have a few questions for people who are coders in Java, C, C++. Okay, so people who code in Java, C, and C++, how many lines of code do you write to read data from a particular URL? So URL is basically, it's like an online location from where I can read the data. So this is the URL that I'm going to read my data from. So how many lines of code do you usually write in Java, C, C++ to read data from such a URL? So you might want to keep in consideration all the lines, something like public class, something like your public static void main, something like your buffered readers. So taking everything into mind, how many lines of code do you think you would have written in Java, C, C++ to read data from this particular URL? Okay. Yeah, nothing less than 20 lines, right? 15 to 20 lines, you would definitely end up writing. And that's the norm. That's what people have kind of experiencing. They have been experiencing for a pretty long time. Okay, so I see some of you say that my voice is breaking in between. Is it the same for all of you, or you're getting clear answer, clear voice?
Okay, you're getting clear. Okay. Perfect. Okay,
it's all good, right? Okay, okay. So now
what we'll do is, yeah. So if you had done this in Java, C, or C++, you would have ended up writing 20 lines of 20 lines of code. And that's why people think coding is difficult, because something as simple as reading this data from a certain URL requires you to write 20, 30 lines of code, which is really painful. And that is where the world realized that non-programmers, why should they break their head to kind of write so many lines of code when they just need to do a quick read of this data that is there on the URL? And that's what Python tried to resolve. And what Python did is they said, okay, don't worry, we'll give you the code ready-made. Major chunk of the code will be ready-made. You just need to write the bare minimum line that you need to kind of work upon. So they introduced this package called as Pandas. Pandas package is basically it's a collection of code wherein you can literally kind of reduce a major chunk of your work. A simple example is I wanted to read this data. So all I had to do was I had to read this data in pd.read CSV, and then I had to pass this particular URL. Okay, that's all I had to do. pd.read CSV, pass the URL, okay, and my data is ready to be read. So I'll run these two lines of code. So when I say import pandas, I get my all my code, ready-made code, it comes onto my platform. And then I write pd.readcsv. PD is just a short name. It's like a nickname to this package. This package has a lot of code, and one of them is read CSV, just like VLOOKUP. Okay, just like VLOOKUP, I wrote a read CSV, I passed some parameter. What does it do? It reads data from a certain URL. Okay, it reads the data from a certain URL. Now look at this. How do I know the data is read properly? I write data.head. In simple language, if you just see this, Python is more like broken English. You can read broken English. Okay, it's basically broken English. Now, when I say data.head, you see it literally points you that this is what the data that is there on that website, on that particular website. This is exactly the data. You want to verify once again? Let's go to the website and check. If you see here, symboling, normalized losses, make, fuel, dot, 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 last one is price. The first row is 3 question mark, Alfa Romeo, dot, dot, dot. The last price is 13,495. Okay, so let's just verify. Yeah, symboling, normalized losses, make, 3 question mark, dot, 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 and the last column is price. So what you observe here, friends, is that I had to barely write 2 lines of code. The first line is to tell which package am I importing, okay, package which has ready-made code. And second line is pd.read CSV. You give the URL, okay, and the URL, from this URL, this function will read the data and pass it to this variable. Now, my data is ready in my hands. I need to do whatever actions that I need to do. I need to do it on this variable. So I want to see the first 5 rows, data.head. It shows me the first 5 rows of my data. And that's it. As simple as that. Instead of writing 20, 30 lines of code that we usually end up writing in Java, C++, okay? In Python, it's barely 2 lines, okay? Now, the next thing, how many of you have heard about advanced analytics, which requires statistics? So how many of you have heard about statistics? When you want to analyze your data, you have to do some form of statistics. So could you guys name me some common statistics? Just name me anything that you might have heard of. Some statistics. Just to help you out, I'll give you the first one, which is count, mean, excellent, standard deviation, excellent, minimum, very good, median, very good. So before median, you have something called as 25th percentile, then median, then 75th percentile, very good, and max. Okay. So this is basically, these are the most basic statistical concepts that one should kind of be aware of, okay, when you are trying to analyze your data. And this goes out for anybody who's interested in advanced analytics. Okay, anybody who's interested in advanced analytics, they would need to know these basic 8 statistics. How many formulae do you have to write if you have to apply this to a particular data in your Excel sheet on a particular column? If you have to apply these 8, you want to get these insights, 8 insights. How many formulas do you end up writing for every column? Look at the number of outcomes that I need. How many formulas do you need to write in Excel sheet to get all of these for every column? So basically, for one column, how many formulas do you need to write? You need to write 8 of these, right? You have to write 8 of these. What are the 8? The first one is count, followed by mean, followed by standard deviation, followed by min, 25th percentile, median, 75th percentile, and max. These 8 formulas you have to write for every column. And what is even worse is, are these applicable in textual columns? Can you find mean of a textual column? A column which has apples, bananas, guavas, can you find the average of it? Answer is no. So technically, you have to find only the numerical ones and then apply the statistics. Okay, and that is the fun part of data science. That at the end of the day, okay, if you don't apply stats, how are you going to understand your data better? But in Excel sheet, it's a big pain. Figuring out those numerical columns, applying these 8 formulas to every column, I have to do so much of manual tasks. Now look at Python. This is called as descriptive statistics. In statistics, we call this as descriptive statistics. Python says, okay, I'll keep it simple. I'll keep it English, data.describe. That's all you have to do. Data.describe. They'll give you the count, the mean, the standard deviation, min, 25, 50, 75, max. For all the numerical columns. You don't have to waste time figuring out which are the numerical ones. It'll do that hard work for you. Isn't this vital for you? Isn't this simple? Isn't this interesting? At the end of the day, okay, I just had to write one word to do descriptive statistics on my data. And this is more practical. Okay, this is more practical. I'm more of a business guy. Why should I waste time writing 8 formulas into 40 columns? That's like 320 formulas. Why should I waste my time doing all of those things? In Python, all I had to do was data or describe. It gave me all the 8 statistics that I was looking for all the numerical columns. I didn't have to waste time figuring out which are the numerical columns. Okay, isn't this really exciting? I mean, this is what Python kind of brings to you. That at the end of the day, when you're working on Excel sheet, Excel is limiting you in multiple ways. If you want to go a little advanced in your journey, if you want to become an advanced analyst in your career, Excel is not the place where you would want to get stuck. Now, this is not only it. Okay, dot describe is not only it. This will only give you for the numerical ones. But what if you want to do in for categorical, something like a textual column, apple, banana, guava? What do you do for them? You just add a parameter, include. It'll do it for the textual columns as well. Okay, whichever column is textual in nature, it'll kind of apply this formula. For textual column, we have 4 more statistics. So these are the 4 statistics that we use for textual, and these are the 8 statistics that we use for numerical. It's just one word, okay? And that is the importance that Python brings on the table. You can very easily analyze your data with minimum efforts and maximum focus on the business. This is how Python makes you sharper and smarter in your day-to-day analysis. Now, this is the part that I wanted to show all non-programmers that how vital Python can be when it comes to becoming a lot matured in the way you're working. In the next part, I need a little help from my non-program friends. And can I just have a quick yes from the non-program friends if you want to kind of participate and help me understand the next part of the code? Yeah, you're going to help me understand the next part of the code. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I see quite a few excited bunch of non-coders. Awesome. Yeah. So friends, like above, I told you like pandas was one such package wherein I got a lot of ready-made functions. Okay, I got a lot of ready-made functions. Something like read CSV, I got it ready-made. On similar lines, I will be using Folium, Pandas, and Insaid, some more ready-made packages. Now, how do you know which packages to use? The answer is very simple. When you are working in this field, you have a certain problem that you're trying to solve, you would know which package to use. Okay, it's just like I want to find a good house. Okay, you need to know which broker to approach. Okay, I want to buy a good car. You need to know which showroom that you need to go. Okay, so on similar lines, when you're working in data science, these are things that you'll come to know very easily. Just like you find movies that you want to watch on weekend, you go to platforms such as Book My Show, okay, and then you figure out. Okay, what is the function of packages? Packages collect all. They actually have the collection of all the code. So VLOOKUP, Akshara, if you understand, VLOOKUP is written in some language. It is written in VC++ because somehow internally it is doing some steps, right? It's a function. It is doing some work. But who has written the actual code? It is written in VC++. Do I really need to bother about it? The answer is no. On similar lines, Python also gives you a lot of these packages. They're all ready-made code. You just need to use them. Okay, something like read CSV, you pass a file name. It'll read the data from this file, and then it'll give you the output. Okay. So in fact, I just answered the query on behalf of all my non-coder friends. So I hope all of you realize that pd.read CSV, what did it do? You passed the name of the file, it read the data, and it presented to you. Now, non-programmer friends, what do you think is happening in this line? So I read the data into rcafe. Now I did rcafe.head. What do you think is happening in this particular line? When I write rcafe.head. We just saw it above as well. Perfect. It displays the top part of your data, the top 5 rows. Okay. It gives you a glimpse of the top 5 rows of the data. Now let's look at how does the data look like. So there's the store ID, there's a store name, the brand is Riley's. So we are doing Riley's Cafe analysis, by the way. Ownership type, joint ventures, um, address, city, state, postal code, latitude, longitude, launch date. And then there's some interesting column at the end. There are 7 columns which say AFF Monday onto Sunday. So Monday till Sunday, we have the average footfall. So since the store was launched, okay, right from the beginning when it was launched, so far, every Monday, what was the footfall? Every Tuesday, what was footfall? Every Wednesday, what was the average footfall? Thursday, average footfall. Friday, average footfall. Saturday and Sunday. So you see here, for all of these 7 days of the week, what is the average footfall for those particular days? So I'm just highlighting the column that we are referring to. So these are the columns that we are looking at, which are basically average footfalls over Monday to next Sunday. Now, looking at this data, what are the things that come to your mind? What kind of analysis can you do? So I have the store ID, name, brand, ownership type, address, city, state, postal code, longitude, latitude, launch date, average footfall from Monday to Sunday. So put on your data analyst hats and tell me what kind of analysis can you do? If you are, say, the CEO of or the general manager of Riley's Cafe, what kind of analysis would you be interested in? See which days of the week the average footfall is the maximum. Very good. Highest footfall. Yeah, absolutely. Which branch? Very good. So if you are very specific to a particular city, you might want to see which branch is giving me very good footfalls. Excellent. Yeah. Um, Turnover data is not there here. So in this, whatever data you're seeing, what are the best that you can do? City-wise comparison. Excellent. So you can do city-wise branch comparison. You can do state-wise branch comparison. You can do country-wide branch comparison. Okay. In fact, within the city, you can also find the top performing outlets. Okay. What else? Yeah, maybe build strategies, percentage. So you took it one notch higher, wherein after you analyze, you can do a strategy building of giving out discounts, giving out offers. Very good. Okay. So this is yeah. So this is a very simple data that we have. Okay. Now let me build a story and explain all of you what is happening behind the scene right now. So right now, Riley's Cafe is a very popular international brand chain. Okay, they have a footfall. I mean, they have a they basically serve coffee. So it's a chain of cafe. Okay, so now the cafe chain they have launched in India, and say you are the general manager in Noida region, or let's say NCR region. Okay, you're the general manager in NCR region, and the CEO comes to you. The CEO has come from abroad, and he says, so can you help me understand how are your stores doing in your state? Okay. Now, as you rightly pointed out, a lot of you would have picked up city-wise analysis. A lot of you would have picked up footfall analysis. A lot of you would have compared between cities. A lot of you would have compared within cities. Okay. So there are a lot of things that you would have done. You'd have seen which day of the week is the most optimal for us. Okay. That'll help us decide, okay, how much staff should we have? How many customers do you expect on an average on those days? Okay. So you can do a lot of these analysis. However, I was also asked the same question, and I thought that, okay, why not do something different? Why not do something a little more interesting? Okay, I wanted to understand how can I present this data in such a way that the CEO would really find it interesting, would understand, okay, this is a very good way to look at this data, and this is a very good way to build strategies on this data. So what I did is I started writing a little bit of code. What do you think this line of code is doing? Folium.map, and then I'm passing something. I don't know what is this thing, but could you tell me what is this line of code doing? Folium.map and some location and then some number. Location where? You're right, but I'm looking at where is the location? Will show on the map. Very good, Ajay. So you're trying to show this data on the map, okay? And this is basically my region, right? I'm the general manager of NCR, and I want to kind of show NCR region on the map. After that, what I do is I apply some more logic, and this is an interesting logic where I'll actually put colors on my map. So what we are doing here is, okay, the moment I say rcafe.iter rows, rcafe is my data. Okay, all the stores that I have in India, this is the data. When I say iter rows, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Iter rows. As I told you, Python is broken English. Try to break it and understand what would iter rows really mean. Iterate over the rows. Perfect. So what are you doing? You're iterating over every store one by one. Okay, you're iterating over every store one by one, and then you're doing some form of analysis. Okay. So what kind of analysis am I doing? I'm iterating over an entire row, collecting the average footfalls from Monday to Sunday. Okay. After that, I'm drawing some form of a graph. Okay. I'm drawing a bar chart. So you see, Vincent helps you draw a bar chart in basically 1 or 2 lines of code. Okay, you can draw a beautiful bar chart using Vincent in 1 or 2 lines of code. Vincent was something that we imported here. Okay, we imported Vincent. As I told you, it has all the ready-made code. You just need to use the functions to draw whatever you need. So I'll be drawing some form of bar chart with the average footfall that I have across the week. Okay, and then I will put it up, okay, on the folium. Folium was for primarily for the map. If you remember here, folium.map. So on the map, I'm putting up the bar chart as a pop-up. Okay, we see as a pop-up, I'm putting up this bar chart. And after that, I apply my business logic. Okay, so this business logic is decided by the management. The business logic is, if your footfalls are above 2,700, it's a good store. If it is between 2,600 and 2,700, it's an average store. And if it is below 2,600, then it's a risky store. Okay, a simple logic that the management has given you. And look at this code and just tell me, do you think I'm doing something very different in these 3 lines? If you see these 3 lines, do you think a lot of my code is changing? Just look at the 3 lines that I've highlighted. A major chunk of the code is still the same. Perfect. What is changing? The color coding is changing. Color and the icon type is changing. Otherwise, we see these 3 lines, the first line, the third line, and the fifth line, this one, and this one, first, second, and third. You see that everything is same except that color and a shape is being added. Okay, apart from that, everything is same. And the beauty is, I'm just adding it back to my NCR stores. NCR stores was nothing a map. NCR stores is a data that contains this map information. And I'm just adding back these stores with colors, okay, and shapes onto the map. Now, usually, how do we present our reports to the management? How do you present your reports to the management in your day-to-day life? Excel sheet, very good. What else? PPTs, PDFs. Yeah. So a major chunk of it is all Excel sheet. Okay. I see most of you are writing Excel sheet. Yeah. And then we have few folks who are doing it Power BI, pie chart. Sorry, not pie chart, you mean PPTs. Okay. Yeah. Charts is what we are kind of utilizing. And you present it through dashboards, through PPTs, through PDFs. Okay. The problem with a lot of these tools that help you draw dashboards is that they are paid and they're pretty expensive. Okay. So, however, as I told you, Python is free. I'm the general manager, and I'm not a very kind of I'm not a particular person who always follows what is being done everywhere. I would rather come up with more creative ways of showing. So, what I thought is, I'll not present the report. Okay, I'll not present this report in the form of PDF. Rather, I'll make I'll make a HTML out of it. HTML is basically a website. Okay, it'll look like a website. So now I'll actually show you the output, and through the output, you'll understand what exactly did I get after writing these 15 lines of code. Now, if you see here, barely 15 lines of code is what I've used to build my report. Okay, I'm the general manager of NCR region. The CEO has asked me for details about how my store is performing in NCR region. I could have given an Excel sheet, I could have given a PPT, I could have given a PDF, but I chose a different route. I thought, let's make it a little more interesting and a little more creative. So I wrote 15 lines of Python code. Okay, and then I published my report onto HTML. Let's look at the HTML and tell me, what is your experience about this HTML? The moment you see my report, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Yes, friends. Okay, I got a lot of common words, which is wow. Definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, this is something that is adding a lot more value when you're actually talking to a stakeholder. A stakeholder would love to see some form of this output as opposed to looking at a textual output. Okay. And look at this, how beautifully all the stores are popping up in the NCR region. Okay, in a simple way, you're seeing all the all the stores in the NCR region in 15 lines of code. And the beauty is now you can build your strategies. Just zoom in and try to build your strategies around, okay, what is happening in a certain region, what is going good, what is going bad. Okay, in fact, if you just see this region, okay, I'm the GM, and if I'm talking to the CEO, I just highlight him. I'll tell him, you know what, RK Puram, okay, RK Puram, IIT Delhi campus, great, GK, Greater Kailash, all the folks who stay in Delhi would agree with me that these are places that are pretty posh. And yet there's one store that is not performing so well. And it's so easy for me to kind of show it to the stakeholder. Like, look at this area, I'm seeing that other stores are doing really well, but this one store is not really doing good. A simple 15 lines of code to build awesome strategies. In fact, you don't have to even bother because you don't know which stores are these. You don't have to bother because just click on this particular store. It'll tell you that this is Horse Cars. The store is at Horse Cars. This is the average footfall across the week. Click on this one. It'll tell you it's in Saket, and these are the average footfalls across the week. Click on this. It'll tell you it's GK1, Greater Kailash, and these are footfalls. How simple can your life become when you start thinking a little creative? And Python helps you go that extra step. Okay, this is how beautifully Python could have kind of solved this problem for you. Now, there's a very interesting point here which I've not shared yet. So if I start zooming out, okay, you'll see the entire NCR region. I'm the GM of NCR region, and in these 15 lines of code, I literally analyzed NCR and gave a very beautiful insight to my CEO. But it's not only NCR. Those same 15 lines of code actually ran to the entire data. It wasn't only Delhi data. I ran to the entire India data in those same 15 lines of code. And even being a GM of NCR region, I literally solved the entire India's analysis. Okay, the problem for how do you analyze the entire India's outlets, in those same 15 lines of code, I ran the entire data. And if you see here, I've actually analyzed entire India. All the places where Riley's has their store, I've analyzed all of those places. Okay. Now you can feel free to do Mumbai analysis. If you want, you can zoom out, go to Pune. If you want, you can zoom out, go to Bangalore. Okay, so it's all up to you. You can go to Hyderabad. Okay, so wherever you have the outlets, you can go ahead and analyze. You can analyze your store performance across India. In fact, those 15 lines of code, if I had the world's data, those 15 lines of code would have done the world level analysis as well. So do you realize how powerful Python is? At the end of the day, with minimum efforts, I got maximum output. And that is what makes Python so vital in today's industry. So this is the part that I wanted to kind of share with all of you on the theory and the practical part. And in this very specifically, I wanted to show all of you that Python, if you actually go through the entire session so far, you would have realized that Python makes it a lot easier for us to kind of build things in a much more matured manner as opposed to what Excel limits you to. Okay, Excel has a lot of limitations. It does not let you look at data in a proper way. Neither does it allow you to become a lot more matured in the way you are able to analyze your data. And that is where Python takes that, I would say, cut. Now, in this last part of the session, this is where I'll be talking about the most vital part, which is our today's session, the bonuses that we have for all of you, and how Insaid is going to help you transition into the space of data science and AI. I'll be picking up all your questions a little later. Let me first talk about the bonuses so that a lot of you are waiting for the bonuses and the scholarship. I'll let you know what are these. Along with that, if you have any questions, we'll take it up once I'm done with talking about the bonuses. So first things first, it's glad to see that a lot of you have turned up today for this particular scholarship session along with the bonus session. And this being like the second last day of the year, I'm pretty sure all of you are eager to get started into a new career in 2021. So 2020, thank God it's getting over tomorrow. And yet it doesn't mean that we'll stop learning, but learning only starts. So what kind of programs do we offer here at Insaid? So our primary focus is to help working professionals just like you to upskill or move into a different career in whatever roles you are currently. These are primarily focused on data science and AI roles. So we have we have 3 flagship programs around data science and AI. And they are the CDF, they are CDF 3 months program, GCD 6 months, and GCD 11 months. So these are the programs that we offer for all the working professionals who are eager to get into a new position in their life in the shortest possible period time. Now, this is only limited for people who are extremely serious. Okay, so the bonuses are limited in numbers. So if you are absolutely serious, then definitely this is something that you will definitely gain a lot out of. And we are looking for folks who actually want to kind of get started into this space and are actively seeking guidance from industry experts. So at Insaid, we have quite a few industry experts who kind of help students just like you to kind of get upskilled in this particular space. Now, as I told you, the three programs that we offer here at Insaid are CDF 3 months program, GCD, the global certificate, which is 6 months program, and the GCD AI program, which is a 11 months program. Now, these three programs are suited for three different categories. Okay, not everybody has to become an AI analyst or AI engineer, and neither does everybody have to stick to being an analyst. So you can choose the one that actually aligns the most to your immediate need. Now, what are these courses? Let us quickly walk through them. Now, if you see here, the CDF course, the shortest course, which is the 3 months course, is primarily a course that helps you get into the space of data science. Okay, it gives you a good glimpse of how advanced analytics works. Okay, a lot of people are trying to understand, okay, what happens in the world of analytics. Uh, I am doing analytics in some sense, but if I want to do a little more matured analytics, what do I do? Okay, that is where CDF course helps you build that working knowledge. To be good in analytics, advanced analytics, I would say you would need good knowledge of Python and statistics. Okay, you need good knowledge of Python and statistics, followed by what is the right way to show your data instead of read your data. So how do you present your data? How do you understand your data? It's through visualizations. EDA is a scientific way of exploring data. How do you explore data scientifically so that you can extract meaningful insights out of the data such that you can build strategies for your company? And finally, so far, if you're doing analysis, okay, how do you take your analysis a notch higher and make it predictive in nature? So far, a lot of people only do what has happened in the past, but how do you understand what will happen in the future? And that is what machine learning is all about. It tells you ways in which you can predict what will happen in the future. So this course is very good for people who want to get started in data science, who want to get their feet wet in data science, people who want to kind of get roles in the analyst space. Okay, if you're somebody who's starting a career in analyst space, this course is perfect for you. For folks who want to understand how data science operates at a very high level, something like managers and above, okay, this course is equally good. Now coming down to the next course. The next course is called as the GCD course. It's a 6 months course. And in this, if you see, a major focus would be on machine learning. So far, everybody has learned till machine learning foundation, but once you get into GCD course, our major focus goes into machine learning because machine learning is basically one of the largest needs in the market right now. If you have to become industry ready, if you have to know industry grade algorithms that are being used to solve complex problems associated with data, machine learning is going to help you big time. Machine learning, you can cover intermediate along with the CDF course, what you have covered in the first 3 months. You'll continue learning machine learning intermediate, and followed after that, you have an option to choose different parts. Okay? It's an elective term 5, and you have an option to choose different electives as per what is your end goal. If you want to become an advanced analyst, okay, machine learning engineer, machine learning practitioner, then you can go for the ML advanced. If you want to become data analytics with R, so if you want to use R, or if you're working in a company that uses R, or if you're applying for a company that uses R, you can go for the elective R. And if you're a consultant, if you're into sales, if you're managing stakeholders, you need to have very good presentation skills. Then you can go for the Tableau course. Okay. So this is the part where you can choose, okay, if I want to be somebody who's equipped in machine learning in this particular space, then you should go for the ML advanced course. If you're somebody who's applying for companies which are R oriented, something that a lot of research companies use, then definitely you should go for the R elective. And the third one is, if you're somebody who's a consultant, a sales, a person who deals with stakeholders every day, visualization is one of your key aspects. Tableau is the thing that you would want to go with. So the second course is primarily meant for techies, okay, techies who are kind of planning to upgrade their knowledge in this particular space. Non-techies, something like marketing, sales, okay, operations, HR, it doesn't matter. Whichever background you're coming from, if you are doing advanced analytics, you would definitely need to know these algorithms. ML Foundation in the CDF course will give you the basic algorithms that are used to make the most easiest predictions in the industry. But when your data becomes complex, when your predictions become complex, you need more advanced algorithms. So that is why you got to upgrade your knowledge and move to the advanced ones. And that is why GCD is one of the most popular courses here at Insaid, which kind of caters to a wide variety of audience. Okay, right from freshers up to people who are, I would say, in the CXO level, who are using data science in their workplaces. Definitely, they'll benefit out of this. Even if you're not using today, very soon the world is headed there, and you would end up doing data science in some way. Advanced analytics is basically a form of machine learning. Okay. The third course is the AI course. As a lot of you know, AI is the next best thing that is going to happen to this world, and computers are going to become outwardly smart. How does a computer become outwardly smart? How do you teach computers to think like a human brain? Those are the things that we'll be covering in the AI course, wherein you learn these packages, which makes life very easy when you want to apply AI, followed by how does a computer think like a human brain, and then how does a computer see? Computer vision is something like if you've seen object detection, if you've seen Facebook puts a box around your face recognition, where these are all use cases of computer vision. So how does the computer see? Followed by natural language processing. How does a computer understand English? If you have used chatbots, this is what is running behind the scenes. Computer understanding what you're typing in and then responding in a language that you understand. Now you can do all of these things along with one specialization in the 11th term. You can go for computer vision specialization or NLP, whichever suits you the best. You can go for it. Okay, so this is primarily I would definitely recommend people who are techies. Okay? In fact, when I say techies, I mean coders. And I would also recommend freshers because this is a very exhaustive course, and this will kind of give you a lot of idea about what is happening in the real world, along with all the topics that you're supposed to know to crack a job in the space. So these are the three courses, and what you would see here at Insaid is we have a lot of projects. We know, not only do we have capstone and minor projects, even terms have their respective projects. Yeah, even the terms will have their respective projects. NLP is natural language processing. So our course is majorly case-based studies. Our course is majorly project-based studies. In every class that you're going to learn a certain topic, you'll have a theory followed by a case study that explains you how is it applied. And then for most of the terms, at the end of the terms, you'll get access to projects. Once you do the projects, you'll be a lot more confident in the topics that you have learned. And finally, you'll be able to access the capstone projects after you complete your respective courses. Okay. In these capstone projects, we simulate real world companies. So there'll be a real world company whom we'll simulate, and we'll say that this company has this particular problem. We'll give you a real world data, and you're going to work like a data consultant for them, data science consultant for them, and help them solve their problem using all of these techniques that you have learned. Our entire course is Python based, except this one term, which is R, and this is Tableau. Tableau either is it's a tool. Okay, so except this, all of the terms will be taught in Python. So these are the courses that we cover here at Insaid. The 6 months course, which is a GCD course, this is the most preferred one. GCDA is also pretty handy for the folks who are starting their careers in this space and who want to go all out. And AI is the future. So this is possibly the most advanced course that we are doing here in India. So you get all of these things. But let me come to the pricing part quickly. So the 3 months course is priced at ₹1,00,000. The 6 months is 2 lakh, and the 11 months is 3 lakh. However, since we are sitting in a scholarship session along with bonuses, you're not getting 10%, not 20, but you're getting 70% scholarship. Now, post scholarship, it becomes a lot more affordable for everybody. And if you see the new course fees, the CDF course comes down to 29,000, the GCD comes down to 29,500 into 2, and GCDI comes down to 29,500 into 3. So you're going to pay these installments for each of these courses. Now, since it's a bonus session, okay, I'll first open up the form for all the folks who are absolutely serious and people know that, yeah, I want to get started in data science and AI. Go ahead and fill up this form. Okay. And I promise the bonuses are going to be all the more exciting. It's just that the folks who fill up the form have a higher chance of getting the bonuses. In case it gets over, the others wouldn't possibly get all the bonuses. But if you're the early ones, you'll definitely get your bonuses. So once you go to this link, You got to fill up your name, your email ID, followed by your phone number, followed by uh, which one do you want to avail? Okay, which one do you want to avail? The GCD course, the GCD AI course. Okay, let's say I want to go for the GCD 6 months course. Also write down if you're looking for a 12-month EMI option. Okay, in case somebody is interested in a 12-month EMI option, if you don't want to do the entire payment at one go, you can avail a 12-month EMI option as well. So you can choose that. Okay, I want to do the GCD course, but I'll do only through EMI. So it'll come down as low as 5,500 per month. You don't pay any extra fees on the EMI, so there's no interest rate that's applicable for your EMI payments as well. So it just makes it a lot more easier and lighter on the pockets. And after that, if you have heard about Insaid, what are the things that you have heard about Insaid? So let's say I've heard all of the things which are pretty great. And then finally, you can say, if you have any queries that the admission team would like to help you out with, go ahead, click on this link and submit it. Now, once you submit this, friends, our student counseling team will give you a call, okay, and they'll help you understand, okay, what is the right way to kind of plan your 2021? How do you move to data science in the right way? How does data science help you in your career? How does it kind of, I would say, align to your career? Which course is the best for you right now, and how would it help you down the line in future? So they'll be helping you with all of these details. Along with that, they'll do a profile evaluation for you. And along with that, once you are kind of confirmed that, yeah, I would want to go ahead and study data science, I want to create a career here. So go ahead, lock your seats so that you're eligible for the bonuses and scholarships. And you pay a nominal fee of 3,000, which will be either ways adjusted to your full course fee. And once you have done that, you are now confirmed to kind of get a seat in the January batch. So Jan 10th is when we are starting off. So please make sure that you register as soon as possible so that you don't miss out anything about the upcoming batch. So quickly, I'll talk about the bonuses. Okay, quickly, I'll talk about the bonuses that a lot of you have been waiting for. The batches that start from Jan 10th is CDF, GCD, and GCDA. All three will start in Jan 10th. Now, if you are somebody who's absolutely serious to get started in this space, go ahead and block your seats on this form. Once you have filled up the form, friends, just give me a notification on the chat. My friend Vishal here will check it up offline. I mean, behind the scenes, just check up on the form and confirm if your name has been registered for the bonuses that we're going to offer today. Okay, now before I talk about the bonuses, few facts about Insaid. First, it is completely online, okay? Live instructor-led classes, just like we are doing something like now. It's going to be live, okay, and these are all online. It's going to be only on weekends because a major chunk of our students are working professionals, and weekend is the only time where they can find kind of a convenient time to kind of study and upgrade their knowledge. We provide you with all the comprehensive material beforehand. Okay, so all the things that are required for you to kind of learn data science and AI will be provided, all of them, as per the course that you opted for. The entire curriculum is designed and taught by few of the best in India. If you see our instructors list as well, the instructors all have a very good pedigree. They have really good work ethics, and they have been in the industry for a very long time. If you have missed a particular live class, don't worry. Within 2-3 hours after the class is over, you get your recording uploaded onto your student portal. On that student portal, you just need to rewatch or go through the recording so that you're ready for the next day's class. Now, during the class hours, any questions, doubts, the instructor is there to help you out. But after the classroom hours, what if you have a doubt? Do not worry, because after the class, we have a dedicated team of TAs are teaching assistants, who will help you with any kind of queries that you have in the entire week. Okay, so you don't have to wait for an entire week to come to your instructor and ask your queries. Whenever you get a doubt, just drop a note to the TAs, and the TAs are here to help you out. Now, coming to the next part, I'll just give a quick glance of the fees. So the 3 months course, CDF course is 28,000. The 6 months course, GCD is 28,500 into 2, and the GCDI course is 28,500 into 3, which is the 11-month course. Now, coming to the more vital parts, which is what do you get when you enroll in this particular session? First, you're getting the 70% scholarship. And second, today, if you think that, okay, I won't start with CDF, okay, but later on you realize that, okay, no, CDF is good, but I need to go a little more deeper in this field. I want to upgrade to GCD. You don't need to pay any differential. I mean, you don't have to pay any extra fee apart from the differential fee. You don't have to do any kind of re-enrollment process. You don't have to kind of end up paying managerial fees or transfer fees, nothing. You just pay the differential and we'll upgrade you to the next higher course. So if you're a GCD program,
is 59,000 and this is 29,000. So there's a difference of 30,000. So once you're done with CDF course, you understand that, okay, CDF is good, but I need to understand more deeper in the space. You don't have to pay anything extra apart from the 30,000. Okay, so all you pay is the extra 30,000 fees. Okay, that is the difference between CDF and GCD. So if you're registering today, not only do you get the 70% waiver, you also get a no enrollment required, re-enrollment required for higher tier programs. And the third thing is you get 3 bonuses. What are the 3 bonuses? And that is what I'll be talking now. And why should I register now? The first bonus, the moment you do a course, the very first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, what kind of job assistance will I get in this particular space? Now, whenever you do a course, this is a very obvious question that you may have. And here at Insaid, we have a dedicated portal, okay? We have a dedicated program around data science career launchpad. It's a 1-month end-to-end transition program wherein we'll help you understand what is the right way to project your profile in this job market so that you stand out from the crowd. And second, the chance of you getting hired increases a lot more. So there's the first thing that we follow is the fundamental here that we follow is there's nothing called as perfect profile. Okay, jobs open up, but there's no perfect profile for any job. You got to make your profile look right for that particular job. But how do you do that? So the first thing that we focus on is your resumes. So we have sessions around resume building, wherein we help you understand what is the right way to project your resume, what is the right way to build your resume. Second, if you're talking to an interview, more than what is written on your resume, they were more interested to understand what have you done in real world. So how do you build your project portfolios? How do you have a set of projects that really impresses them? Third one is we have live job assistance sessions where we talk about how do companies think when they're hiring candidates. What is the right way to project yourself when you're talking to an interviewer? Okay, fourth one is the best one, which is basically how do you know you're very prepared? The only way is when you actually attend mock interviews. And mock interviews will give you a good glimpse of how prepared, what is your preparedness level, and how equipped are you to kind of prosper in this particular job interview. The next one is you get to connect to alums who come from different companies. Here at Insaid, we have a very strong base of alums. We have close to 4,000 alums, and we have people coming from almost 500 plus companies. Very likely, if you're applying to the next company, somebody from Insaid would have been there already. And if you want, you can get a referral from them as well. So reach out to alums and they'll be happy to help you out. In fact, on LinkedIn, if you see, we have a close group wherein we have all our students who are studying here at Insaid. We have them registered for the school as Insaid. Our main focus to see you as a successful data scientist and all of these steps that we kind of execute here at Insaid is trying to help you get there. In fact, we also bring in few of the best in the industry who come and share their experiences because that's the best way we can learn from the most senior folks out there. So Dr. Shailesh Kumar is literally running the data science AI revolution for India. He's the chief data scientist at Reliance Jio. So he's literally kind of controlling what is happening with data here in India. Now, he had come down to help us understand how do you decode problems. Dr. Kirkborn is a very famous person across the world in the data science space, and he had come here to help us understand what is storytelling in data science. Mr. Srinivas Rao, he's a very experienced professional, more than 25 years of experience, and he helped us understand, okay, how do you kind of work with visualization? Okay, so all of these experts, they come down, they share us their knowledge, and they help us upgrade ourselves as well. Now, this program, Data Science Career Launchpad, is basically a month-long program, and it's worth 20,000. But however, since I told you it's a bonus, so you don't pay a single rupee for this program, you get it for absolutely free. So your first bonus for this session is an absolutely free Data Science Career Launchpad program worth 1 month long for 20,000. You don't pay anything extra apart from your regular course fee. Okay, now all the folks who are now happy that, yeah, even the first bonus is good enough for me, go ahead, fill up the form and give us a confirmation once you've filled up the form so that we can ensure that your name is enrolled, okay, and you are eligible for the bonuses. We have limited bonuses. I'll be stopping the session at 8:20, and please make sure that if you are going to get started in data science and AI, you fill up your entries before 8:20. Otherwise, after that, the bonuses will not be applicable. The second bonus that we have is industry specialization courses. After learning data science theory and practical, now you would want to know how is it used in industry. And that is why we have industry focused courses, which is called as industry specialization, wherein we have certified courses on financial analytics, healthcare analytics, telecom analytics, retail analytics, and we are coming up with much more analytics. You can get access to these courses, okay? Each of these courses is worth 20,000. Okay, it's a boot camp on each of these courses. You get certificates for these boot camps. Each of them are worth 20,000, but you can choose two of them absolutely free. So you can go for finance, you can go for telecom, you can go for healthcare and telecom, you can go for finance and retail. Doesn't matter. You can choose any two worth 40,000. You get it for absolutely free for this particular bonus. So the first bonus is Career Launchpad worth 20,000, but totally free. The second is Industry Specialization worth 40,000, absolutely free. Now, all the folks who are all set to get started, go ahead, fill up this form and just write it on the chat window. All the folks have already submitted their names here. We have confirmed them. For the ones who have not submitted yet, go ahead and just drop in your note that I've submitted the form. We'll confirm from the back end so that at least you're eligible for the bonuses and you do not miss out the bonuses. Okay. Now coming down to the next part, wherein I'll be talking about few students here at Insaid. Now, if you see, students come from varied backgrounds. Somebody comes from data warehouse background in Barclays. Somebody comes from Vodafone. Somebody comes from technical consulting Oracle. Okay, we have people from testing. Sajid Jose comes from he's from the defense background. I think he was in Air Force for I think almost 17 years. Post which he started a career in Accenture as project manager. So you see people coming from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different technologies, different roles, and all of them are benefiting using data science. Now, the third bonus that I have for all of you is the electives. Now, if you remember, I told you that you can choose any one elective for whichever course that you are choosing. So for GCD, you have choice of any one elective, and GCDI, you have choice of these three electives, plus the two electives here. So you could have chosen any one elective in each of these terms. But now, as I told you, this is the third bonus that I have for all of you. You don't pay anything extra, but you get access to not only learn advanced machine learning, you can learn with R as well, and you can learn Tableau as well. Okay, same for AI. You can become a specialized in computer vision, and you can become specialized in NLP. Doesn't matter because as per the bonus, you're eligible for all the electives, okay, for whichever course you're enrolled in. So that is the third bonus that I have for all of you. Now I'll open up for queries that you may have. For the rest of the folks who are all set to get started, go ahead, fill up this link, put down your details. Our student guidance team will call you. They'll help you with your profile evaluation. They'll help you understand, okay, how is data science changing the world? How does it suit your profile? Which is the right course for you? How do you get started in the space? How will it help you down the line? All of these things, once you're sure, go ahead and block your seats by paying a nominal 3,000 rupees. That'll be adjusted to your course fee so that you get access to the bonuses and your participation is confirmed. Your seat is confirmed for the Jan 10th batch. Okay, so now I'll pick up questions. Now, some common question that I already started getting is, I come from no programming background. Doesn't matter. I have a different profile. Doesn't matter. I'm 30 years experience. Doesn't matter. I'm fresher. Doesn't matter. What really matters is how passionate are you in moving up in your career. Okay, are you interested in doing the same task over and over again for the next 30 years, or do you want to go into roles which require you to be a lot more kind of I would say valuable? You should be a lot more kind of important for the company. Somebody who helps take decisions, somebody who helps understand data traits. Okay, somebody who's extracting information out of data, somebody who's at the end of the day a very important person who's helping guide the future of the company. So if you are very interested in becoming that person in your careers, that important person in the company, if you want your careers to be kind of really happening, definitely data science is not a big deal for you. You can learn it with very, I would say, with a lot ease. A lot of problem that we have in our mind is all because we have a lot of assumptions. But if you know that you want to achieve something in your career, then you can definitely do data science. The reason why I'm saying so is because it doesn't matter what your background is, if you're program, non-program, because we start from scratch. If you see our progressive learning architectures, we start from zero up to the most advanced course. Okay. So you can start right from scratch, right from zero, and take it step by step up to whatever advanced level that you want to do. If you are interested only in analytics, go for CDF. If you're interested in advanced analytics, machine learning, go for GCD. If you're interested in AI, go for GCD AI. Okay. So choose what you want to learn. Choose what you want to learn. Our entire course, if you see here, is focused on data science and AI. We are not somebody who's really kind of breaking our heads on doing 50 other courses. Our main focus and our only focus is data science and AI, and we want to be the best here in India for that. And slowly, I mean, we are kind of really, I would say, lucky to be amongst the top institutes here in India. And finally, our entire learning is all about project-based learning. We have a lot of projects. We have close to 40 plus projects. We have a lot of case studies. We have a lot of things which are more majorly hands-on. So our entire course is based on these kinds of experience. And that's one reason why we have people from really good companies who come to us, McKinsey, BCG, Deloitte, OLX, Nokia. You name a company and very likely we would have students from those companies. Now, what if you're from a non-coding background? Don't worry. The moment you enroll here as a student, okay, you get started with your starter kits. Okay, once you have enrolled yourself as a student, you get access to starter kits. Starter kits are two self-preparatory self-paced courses that you get access to the moment you register for a course. This will help you kind of get prepared for the actual course. Before the course starts, go through the starter kits. Hardly takes you 2 weeks of time to kind of wrap up your starter kits. Once you've wrapped up your starter kit, you are at a lot more matured level to kind of understand data science from a real world perspective. Okay, this will give you the clarity. A lot of you may have done stats, you've forgotten. A lot of you may have never done coding. The Python starter kit will help you kind of get started. Okay. Once you're done with these two starter kits, you're a lot more prepared now to take on data science. So this is what I would recommend all of you. The earlier you register and complete your enrollment, the earlier you get access to starter kits, the earlier you start preparing, the earlier we are ready for our 2021 batch. Okay. So Suresh, that's what we learn. We teach in Career Launchpad, right? So how do you prepare your profile such that you can kind of make yourself work out in this particular space? Can I enroll my daughter, 12 years old? Okay, she has basic coding knowledge. I think, Manish, that would be a little stretch for her. Yeah, at her age, I wouldn't recommend her to take up this course because primarily if you see here, on an average, people are in the 5 to 15 years work ex, right? So for her, it'll be a little, I would say, challenging. But yes, if you are doing it along with her, possibly you can take it up and and you can pass on some knowledge to your daughter as well, or sit with her and try to help her understand most part of the course, where we talk about industry. Okay, most of the part of the course we see is all practical, hands-on, right? So we'll be talking a lot about industry. And the best way that she can make sense of it is when you or somebody of your age could possibly sit with her and explain it to her. Okay, so overall, it's not that a 12-year-old kid can't do data science. It's just that they would need some guidance. They're too young right now, so it will be good if some guidance is present. Otherwise, I would recommend anybody who's in college and above, you can easily do it. So Abhijit, once you fill up the form, you'll get a call from the student guidance team. Okay, they'll talk to you one-on-one and help you solve all your doubts. Okay, and by the way, yeah, we are just 2 minutes away from the closure of the bonus session. So if in case you have not filled up the form, quickly fill it up and confirm so that once you decide that you want to go for the course, you're eligible for the bonuses. All the folks who have confirmed, I assume that we have given our confirmation as well. All of you have filled up the form. If anybody has filled up the form and hasn't informed us, just put it down on the chat window here. The link has been shared with all of you. All the folks who have confirmed, we are running almost towards the end of the session. It's 8:20 and I'm supposed like 8:19. I'll be stopping the session a minute or two. I'll just quickly take up some more queries and then I'll wrap up the session. So let me check some more questions that we have here. Okay, yeah, these are all weekend classes, absolutely. These are all weekend classes, morning 8 to 10 or 11 to 1, depending on which batch you're choosing. Each of the classes are 2 to 2.5 hours each on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, half an hour could be here and there because the instructors usually take a lot of queries and some doubts they might take after class or some doubts if they're taking between classes, it might get a little stretched. Vinayak, yeah, machine learning is pretty widely used now almost in every field. Okay, whatever field you're working in, just search on Google that how is data science and AI being used in your field, and it'll give you a very good idea of how is data science and AI being used in your particular field, and you realize that data science and AI is almost there in every industry. Okay, it is now almost as wide as possibly anything out there can be. Okay, it's the new oxygen for industries nowadays. Okay, so friends, all the folks who have registered, I assume that we have confirmed all of you. In case we have not confirmed, just put down here that you have filled up the form so that we can actually help you out. So Hima, let's put it this way that at the end of the day, what will an interview really give you, okay, is something that you are the right person to decide, okay? will a company really hire you is something that your preparedness decides. Okay, nobody else can guarantee you on that. If any company is guaranteeing on you on that, just read the fine prints, you'll understand the mistake there. Okay. So even if somebody promises you you'll get 100 interviews, I can take the 100 interviews internally. Then what? Okay. So those are things that really will not help you down the line. But what will really help is how prepared are you for these interviews? Yeah, and that is what the Career Launcher program is here for. So don't get kind of fooled into, okay, how many interviews will you get me booked? Will you give me a job guarantee? Those are things which are just eye washers, which really can't nobody can guarantee you something like that. And if somebody does, you better read the fine prints because that is where the actual secret is. So Abhijit, I think you can visit our YouTube page. Okay, on YouTube page, you'll get a lot of these videos that you're looking for. Okay, we actually keep posting quite a bit of stuff on YouTube page. In fact, if you are a person who's not a student here at Insaid, you can just register. You'll get access to our Insaid Thursday where we do also all these sessions. You'll get a lot of information for free as well from our institute and on our YouTube channel as well. Sai, technically, the prerequisites is what you're seeing on my screen. The starter kits. Okay, once you enroll as a student, you get access to both of these starter kits. Just complete these starter kits before the actual course starts. You are way more than prepared. Iram, so far we haven't started any form of internships as such, but however, I mean, getting an internship shouldn't be a big deal if you kind of know which are the right places to apply. So you got to explore a little bit, and definitely you'll find quite a bit of internships available outside for data science and AI. So Ashwin, let's put it like this, that not only it is about larger volume of data, but it's also about the larger complexities in the data. What if your data is very complicated, okay, very convoluted, and the data is very difficult to kind of understand? How will machines help us uncover secrets from that data? So that is what is being taught in advanced machine learning. Okay, so you'll get to learn the most popular algorithms which are widely used in the industry today. And that's why I said, if you want to be industry ready in machine learning, definitely the advanced machine learning track is very important for you. So Amol, as a person who works in finance, you'll realize that finance requires you to to make sense out of data every day. And finance is possibly one of the biggest beneficiaries of data science. Okay, so if you are prepared to that level where companies are willing to kind of give you an offer, why not? Okay, so data science would definitely help you crack a job in the space. Finance is by default, finance and healthcare are the two sectors which are always the best beneficiaries of technologies and data science and AI. Okay, so I think, yeah, I'm sorry, I just exceeded my time. All the folks who have registered, I hope all of you have been confirmed, because the moment I stop the session, we'll not be eligible. I mean, we'll not be able to give any further bonuses. All the folks who have registered, I hope you have got your confirmation from Vishal here. Trinath, GIS is just one more package, right? Ultimately, what is your need in data science? You want to understand. What do you want to understand? You want to understand how to extract meaningful insights from the data. GIS is just like one more package. There's a package called as QGIS, ArcGIS. You just need to use those packages to plot it on the map. Today, I showed you Folium, right? Folium also does something on the map. In fact, Folium has other topographies as well. Okay, so you can actually draw it on different types of topologies. So GIS package is specific to your use case. You can just pick up that package and start working on it. What is important is how do you understand data? And that is what data science is all about. Okay, Amol, let's put it this way in simple language that business analyst is primarily focused on what has happened and how can that behavior help you understand um, how to strategize better for the next iteration. So something like this quarter, our sales dropped by 30%. What do I do to overcome that problem? That is what a business analyst would really focus on. However, if you're a data scientist, you not only focus on that, but you'd also go deeper and see, okay, why did it happen? Okay, what were the challenges? Which other data points can help me uncover those secrets? Which other problems can help me understand the pattern better? How can I use this data to predict something that will happen in the future? Okay, so you're going a lot deeper into your data and trying to make your company more equipped and more I would say, sound in decision making. Oh, definitely, Ram. Telecom is possibly one of the biggest, I would say, apart from, I mean, if I put it in order, then finance, followed by healthcare, followed by telecom, the top three beneficiaries of data science. In fact, what I would recommend is, a lot of you have this question. What I'll recommend is, the easiest way to do it is go to Google and search for how is data science used in telecom. And you'll get a plenty of, I mean, a list of 100 applications that are possible in data science and AI. So before I wrap up the session, for all the folks who have registered, once we complete our course here at Insaid, you are eligible for 2 certificates. One is the course completion certificate, which goes by default to everybody who attend the course. But we also have we have an exam after your course is completed. So let's say you're a GCD student. Once you're done with GCD student, you get access to an exam. If you clear that exam, okay, you get access to a merit certificate. A merit certificate would have a unique ID. Okay, this ID can be verified by your employer or your future employers or your prospective employers. They can go visit our website and they can validate how good was your performance here at Insaid. So you get this certificate only after you clear that exam. This exam is free for the first attempt. Since it's a third-party hosted exam, the first attempt is free. Any follow-up exam, you pay a nominal difference. I think 250 to 500 rupees is a nominal fee that you got to pay if you do not clear it in the first attempt. So by default, you get one certificate, which is for participation. But after you give exam for completion, you can get access to your merit certificate. The merit certificate has a unique ID for which anybody can use and come to Insaid and verify your performance here at Insaid. Okay. So Sai, let's put it this way. To cover this course for the next 6 months, whatever is required, whatever is relevant, you'll be learning all of that Python and all of that statistics. Okay. Apart from the 2 weeks of material that you have in the starter kit, in class also, we invest quite a bit of time in statistics and Python. So overall, you're looking at nothing less than 16, I would say 12 to 16 hours of efforts on in-class training on Python and statistics, and off-class, you have 2 weeks of material that you can prepare by yourself. Okay, so friends, I think I have way exceeded my time. 8:30, I'll put a hard stop. Anybody, any queries? Anybody who has not filled up the form, or anybody who's right now filling up the form, please wrap it up. 8:30, I'll hard stop the form. After that, bonuses will not be eligible. So if you're somebody who wants to kind of avail these bonuses, who want to start their journey in data science AI and make the best out of 2021, go ahead, fill it up, quickly give us a confirmation so that we can verify. Otherwise, we'll be stopping the bonuses right at 8:30, and then we are done for this year, 2020. We are done, and we are happy to see such a big turnout on a weekday. All of you are so excited to kind of get started in the space of data science and AI, and we're equally glad to help you out there. Okay, yes. So all the folks who want the recording of this session, you'll get it on your mail tomorrow. So don't worry. If you have missed a part of it, you'll get the recordings there tomorrow. For the ones, so Iram, only those courses, right? So the bonuses, I'll quickly repeat. So bonuses that you can get access to, that's okay, you'll get it on the mail that you've registered for today's session, same mail. Okay, so if you see the bonuses here, you get your career launchpad program, which is worth 20,000. Okay, this course, so whichever course you're choosing here, you got to pay for those courses. The CDF is 20,000, GCD is 20,500 into 2, and GCD AI is 20,500 into 3. For the bonuses, you get CLP, Career Launchpad program, which is worth 20,000 add-on. You get this for free. For the second one, which is the certified courses in industry analytics, you can choose any two, which is worth 40,000. You get it for free. And electives, you don't pay anything extra. If you're choosing GCD, you get access to these 3 electives. You don't pay anything extra for choosing more than 1 elective. And for GCD AI, not only do you get these 3 electives, but you also get these 2 electives as well. 5 electives, you get it absolutely free. Okay, so these are the bonuses that you are eligible for. Trina, these are all online classes. This is not offline class. These are all online. You can sit at your home, just log into just like you're logged into the Zoom meeting. Similarly, in our Saturday, Sunday class, you just need to log into the Zoom meetings and you can attend the classes. Okay, thank you, friends. I think I've already crossed my time. So it was great hosting all of you. I'm really excited to see all of you kind of eager to get started into the space of data science and AI. And I wish 2021 a happy 2021 to all of you. Hope this new year brings a lot of value add to you in terms of your career and upgrades that you're doing in your career right now. And let's hope that all of you can really crack really awesome jobs out there in 2021. So great to see you on the other side. And I'll just make sure that all the folks who attended today's session, I hope you've got quite a bit of value add from today's session. And we're happy as Insaid to kind of help a lot of you out there who really want to kind of get into this field, but you lack that kind of guidance, you lack that kind of knowledge, and you seek help from experts. That is what Insaid was built for, and we're really happy that we are able to kind of reach out to all of you. Thanks a lot for the session. Advance happy new year to all of you. Have a great year ahead and a great career ahead. Thank you, Vishal. You can also terminate the session now. Thank you. Fauzi, it'll be 8 to 10.